Hello everyone, welcome to the second lecture on Bootstrap Sweep Generator. If you remember, in the first video lecture we have understood the importance of generating a linear voltage variation across a capacitor while it is charging to a voltage VCC through a resistor R. So we have understood there that a simple RC network will not be able to provide a linear sweep because the voltage across a capacitor will always vary exponentially. That means the voltage across the capacitor we have seen is equal to VCC multiplied by 1 minus e raised to the power of minus T by R into C. So we have understood the need to do something to this RC network such that the voltage across the capacitor increases linearly with time. So the linear variation is possible only when the current flowing through the capacitor, obviously coming from the resistor, is a constant with time. So our objective is to make the current flowing through the resistor constant with time so that the voltage across the capacitor will increase linearly with time. Okay, that was the objective. So we have understood in the previous lecture that by taking the voltage across the capacitor and giving it to an emitter follower or a common collector or a buffer transistor, the input impedance is very high and the output is isolated from the input because of that. So the voltage at the collector at the capacitor resistor junction will be exactly same as the voltage at the emitter. Only thing is the difference will be 0.7 all the time, base emitter drop, diode drop. So output, the emitter will follow the input. So if the input is increasing, emitter will increase. Input is decreasing, emitter will decrease as long as the transistor is in the active region. So knowing this basic principle of the emitter follower, we connected the emitter follower to the junction of the resistor and capacitor. So we have the emitter voltage following the collector voltage. So this emitter we have connected through a capacitor to the junction of diode and resistor. So we have understood in the previous lecture that we need these two extra components like the diode and a large value capacitor to ensure the current flows constant through the resistor all the time while it is tracing and while it is retracing. So obviously we cannot understand the actual function of capacitor and diode right now at the beginning. So our objective is to understand it as we move forward. So in this circuit we are adding one more resistor and a negative resistance because we want to bias this emitter follower with a negative voltage here, the voltage bias we are using. So the RE value will be very large and this basically makes up the bootstrap sweep circuit. Now this circuit has to produce an output at V0 which is linearly increasing with time during the sweep phase and linearly falling with time during the retrace time. So while it is sweeping or tracing, linearly it should increase V0, and while it is retracing it must linearly fall. Okay. Now some mechanism must be there for this charging and discharging to be enabled. That means increase in voltage and decrease in voltage must be enabled at the capacitor. On its own, capacitor cannot charge and discharge. So we have connected a transistor Q1, and this Q1 will make sure, with the help of an input a trigger or a switching pulse, so we will call it as a switching pulse. So this switching pulse will decide when this capacitor will be allowed to charge and when this capacitor will be allowed to discharge. Okay, so in today's lecture we will only try to understand one small portion of the behavior of this entire circuit. So what is that small portion? We will take up a case where at t less than 0, what is t less than 0? The sweep has not started yet. The sweep did not begin. That means this particular gate voltage which is there, we are still at this position, 0 volts or slightly positive volts. So we have not gone to negative. The gate pulse has not started. So when will the sweep start? The sweep will start when the gate pulse goes negative. Please remember that point. When gate pulse goes negative, sweep will start. But now in today's lecture we will only try to analyze the entire circuit just before the gate pulse is about to go negative, which means the input is still positive or 0. Okay, now let us analyze this circuit conditions, the steady state conditions when the input of this Q1 switch is either positive or 0. Okay, now we know that this capacitor will be open and this base is connected to RB, so a current will flow through the base in such a way that VCC by RB will be making this transistor Q1 go into saturation. We will design like that. Okay, so VCC by RB will go into will push the transistor into saturation and Q1 will go into saturation. So assume that Q1 is in saturation. What is the voltage between this reference point and the collector? Between reference point and collector, the voltage is VCE sat for Q1. Okay, now from here to here it is VCE sat, and obviously it's a very small voltage. So this is the voltage. So the capacitor is not yet charging towards VCC because it is still, the sweep has not started. So there is no current flowing through the capacitor. The current flowing through the capacitor is assumed to be 0. Okay, so this VCE sat will be there across the capacitor. Now you look at this point here. At this point it is VCE sat, and the difference between base and emitter, so this is equal to VBE sat. So between these 2 points it is equal to VBE sat, or we can call it as VBE for the second transistor. So this is VBE2, and what is the voltage at V0? V0 means from this node to the reference point, which is 0. So from V0 to ground, the voltage will be, see, this voltage VCE sat minus VBE2. So whatever is this voltage, this is VBE2. Okay, so this is VBE2, this is VCE sat. The voltage at V0 will be equal to VCE sat minus VBE2. Okay, now this VBE2 will be very small. Okay, we can assume 0.7. Okay, even if it is not 0.7, 0.5, 0.6, still it is a very small value. So the total voltage at V0 will be almost equal to 0 or negligible. So the voltage at V0 will be almost equal to 0, and look at this capacitor, a large value capacitor now is connected to VCC through diode. So what will happen to this capacitor? this capacitor will be able to charge through this diode, because this end is connected to almost equal to 0. So the capacitor will charge in such a way that the voltage across C1, will be almost equal to VCC. Why are we saying it is almost equal to VCC? Because even if you are taking a practical real value, this is VCC, this is a diode drop. So VCC minus diode drop will be the voltage here, and at the other end it is almost equal to 0. So if we neglect the diode drop across C1, the voltage has to be VCC. Now this is interesting because we are using a resistor here. One end of the resistor is connected to one end of the C1, the other end is connected to emitter, but the potential is more or less the same. The value at the other end of the resistor and emitter, it is almost equal to same. So what do we conclude from this one? We conclude that before the gate becomes negative, that means before the capacitor is allowed to start charging, we are observing that this C1 is holding a voltage of VCC across it, which is technically across R. So across this resistor R, now before the sweep begins, before the trace begins, we observe that the voltage across this resistor is technically equal to VCC, and the diode will be almost like ready to become reverse biased. So this C1 is across R. You have to think like that, although we are having a buffer. Okay. Now let us try to see what is the current flowing through this emitter before the input becomes negative. So the current flowing through this emitter, as usual, because this point, this node is assumed to be equal to 0 before the sweep begins, the current flowing through the emitter resistor will be VEE minus V0. So V0 is negligible, divided by RE. So it has to be approximately equal to VEE divided by RE. Okay, so VEE divided by RE. So that is the emitter resistance, emitter current, sorry. So what will be the base current IB2? The base current IB2 has to be VEE divided by RE divided by HFE approximately, because the base current will be 1 by 1 plus HFE times the emitter current. We know that. So VEE divided by RE into HFE. So the base current, now let us try to analyze the magnitude of the base current. What is the magnitude of the base current? The magnitude of the base current is very, very small. Now why is it very, very small? Because Q2 is a buffer. So which means the input impedance has to be very large. So we keep a significant value of RE here. So VEE divided by RE, RE is very large in the denominator, and in the input side, when we want to calculate the input current, VEE divided by RE divided by HFE. HFE is also very large. So the input current, the base current, will be much smaller because denominator RE, denominator HFE are large. So IB2, the base current, is negligible. Okay, base current is negligible. Before the start of the sweep, please remember, we have not done anything to the circuit. Only thing is the input is 0. So let us come back again. The input is 0. Gate has not started yet. This Q1 is in saturation. So collector to emitter voltage is in saturation. This is VBE2. So V0 is equal to 0. This voltage is almost equal to VCC. Resistor is having a voltage VCC across it, and here the current is VEE by RE approximately. The current in the base is VEE divided by HFE into RE. So the base current is negligible. Okay. Now you see the beauty here. The base current is negligible at the starting of the sweep. there is no current in the capacitor, IA is almost equal to 0, IB2 is almost equal to 0, then what is IC1? Look at this using the Kirchhoff's current law. IC1 is nothing but IR plus IA minus IB2. IA is negligible, IB2 is negligible. So IC1 must be equal to IR. Understood? The collector current flowing through Q1 before the sweep starts has to be equal to IR. Now what is IR? IR we have seen before the sweep starts, this is the voltage across R is VCC, almost equal to VCC. So the current IR must be VCC divided by R. Okay, so IR is equal to VCC divided by R. IR is equal to VCC divided by R, and that is the IC1. IC1 is equal to VCC divided by R. Now we must select a base current in such a way that this transistor goes into saturation before the sweep. So for the transistor to be in saturation, what is the condition required here? The condition required is we want IC1 to flow in this one for Q1 to be in saturation. So that is equal to VCC by R. So if collector current has to be VCC by R, what should be the base current? Base current must be VCC by R divided by HFE. That means VCC by R into HFE. Okay, so this base current has to be VCC by R into HFE or more than that, or more than that. Now you write the equation. The equation is VCC by RB, which is the base current, must be greater than VCC by R divided by HFE. Okay, now what will you get from that equation? You will see that RB has to be less than HFE times R. That is the condition. So if you don't put RB less than HFE times R, HFE of Q1, this transistor may not go into saturation. Okay, that is the danger. So make sure that RB is less than HFE times R for this transistor to act like a switch. Okay, so now what we have here, all the things are set up nicely. We have the capacitor ready to charge. We have the C1 having the voltage VCC across it, and that VCC is across R. Now once the sweep starts, we will observe that the voltage across the resistor is VCC, and the current flowing through R will remain constant at IR, which is VCC by R, and we will get a linear sweep. Okay, so keep in mind these important points. Now I'll show you how that is reflected in the graph here. In this graph, don't worry about all the other things shown here, you will understand them very quickly. So here, this is the starting point, this is t equal to 0. We have only analyzed up to this point, we did not cross this line. So before t equal to 0, the base voltage happened to be VBE saturation. Okay, and the collector current for Q1 happened to be VCC by R. This we proved. Then V0, the V0 here is equal to VCE sat minus VBE2, which is approximately equal to 0. These 3 points are understood in today's lecture, that is before the sweep begins. A last point that we understood is RB has to be less than HFE times R. Okay, keep this in mind. Then in the next lecture we will study what happens when the gate becomes negative and how the linear sweep will be affected at the output. So this will be in the next lecture. Thank you.